Secretly recorded from deep inside the bowels of a decommissioned missile silo, we bring you the man, one single man who wants to bring light to the darkness and dark to the lightness. Although he's not always right, he is always certain. So now, with security protocols in place, the protesters have been forced back behind the barricades and the blast doors are now sealed. Without further delay, let me introduce you to the host of HuttCast, Mr. Tim Huttner.
Thank you, Sergeant-at-Arms. You can now take your post.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the individual and participants. These views and opinions expressed do not represent those of the host or the show. The opinions in this broadcast are not to replace your legal, medical, or spiritual professionals. Welcome to HuttCast 5/14/2023, and yes, it is Mother's Day. So that's what we're going to talk about today, like every other news channel on the world, but I'm going to put a different spin on it. So stand by. Let's really figure out what Mother's Day really is. The current healthcare system is not meeting the needs of real people. People are demanding better care, better options, and want results. So Gareth Care has launched and is advocating for those in the U.S. and internationally, as people are realizing the controlled system has not been there for them. If you want your own independent advocate that is not controlled by big corporations, call or text and enroll today to get your advocate for your needs, serving all ages. For any healthcare need you might have, you matter. Here's how you get started. www.garethcare.com, GRAITHCARE.com. Call Gareth Care Direct 1-469-864-7149. Call or text a question to Healthcare Sucks and get an advocate with Gareth Care. 1-469-864-7149. Mention HuttCast and you'll get a 10% discount on your advocacy bundle. And the staff at Gareth Care will take care of you. Remember to mention HuttCast, get that extra 10% off your first bundle of time. And this is all brought to you from Gareth Care. Welcome back to HuttCast. Today, as I said in pre-roll Mother's Day, everyone's doing it, but I don't know if anybody's ever done it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with, what is it? I mean, we all know what it really is. And excuse my rough voice today. I've been fighting a cold, so you'll be hearing the raspy me today. So what is Mother's Day? Well, officially the day began as a tribute to women. And here's the research I'm getting. Anna Reeves Jarvis is the most often credited for founding Mother's Day. And her mother, Anne, died on May 9th, 1905. Jarvis set out to create a day that would honor her moms as a group. She began the movement in West Virginia, which she prided herself on hosting the official Mother's Day celebration. 3 years later, Anne and Andrews Methodist Hospital Church, and according to CNN in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed a bill recognizing Jarvis's idea as a national holiday to be celebrated the second Sunday in May. But before that, Mother's Day started as an anti-war movement. Although Jarvis is widely credited for the holiday's founder, others had floated the idea earlier with a different agenda in mind. According to the National Geographic, the poet, author, Julia Ward Howe, pictured here, which I'm reading right off the National Geographic website, had aimed to promote Mother's Peace Day decades before for her and her anti-war activists who agreed with her position, including Jarvis's own mother. The idea of Mother's Day should be spread across the globe in a wake of such trauma following the Civil War in America and war in Europe. Howe called for women to gather once a year in parlors, churches, social halls, to listen to sermons, present essays, sing hymns, or pray if they wished, all in the name of promoting peace. West Virginia Wesleyan College historian Catherine O'Tonnelly noticed that, as cited by the National Geographic, these early attempts were to create a cohesive piece focused on Mother's Day, eventually receded when the others concept took a hold. Bet you didn't figure this out when it was Mother's Day. How many actually really dig into the history, the origin of it? I guess I never have until now. Stuck in my missile silo in an undisclosed location while it's raining outside on a Mother's Day. Usually does rain on Mother's Day. But it's kind of interesting how just the little things that you dig into change how you look at it. I'm perplexed. I'm in awe. So now let's talk about what is Mother's Day commercially as a holiday. Well, according to the National Retail Federation of Data, these Mother's Days, today is a $25 billion an annual year holiday in America alone, just America. With those collaborating to spend about $200 on Ma, that's, I guess that's kind of normal, isn't it? $200? I don't know. Maybe you make her something. Maybe you spend time with her, all those things. But $200 is what the National Retail Foundation of Data says. More people buy flowers on Mother's Day than any other time of the year, except during the Christmas and Hanukkah season. Gift givers spend more than $5 billion on jewelry alone, and nearly another $5 billion on that special outing. Then there's $843 million on cards and $2.6 billion on each flowers and gift certificates, according to the data. I don't know about you guys. That's a lot of dough. I guess our economy needs these kind of holidays to keep things moving. I wonder if that adds to the GDP. Our last episode about the debt clock. What does it add to? What can it add to? Think about it. We're buying my flowers, but we're keeping ourselves in business. We're keeping our country going. Yep, I kind of like that idea. All right, so now we got to the point where Jarvis died regretting her idea for this very reason. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Commercialism is the exact opposite of what Jarvis wanted, or would have wanted, especially in her lifetime. She went after florists, aggressive marketing, eventually facing arrest for public disturbances, according to the CNN, and she also railed against First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt for interrupting Mother's Day, inclusively as we all promote the well-being of women and children at large. She didn't even believe organizations using the occasion as a way to raise funds for charity. She didn't trust the purity of efforts that she saw profiting from the holiday. To have Mother's Day, the burdensome, wasteful, expensive gift day that Christmas and the other good days have become, is not our pleasure. It was in a quote, by the way. She said in 1920, according to Nat Geo, if the people of America are not willing to protect Mother's Day from hordes of money schemers that would overwhelm it with their schemes, then we shall cease having Mother's Day, and we know how. Jarvis herself never profited from the idea in 1948. She died at the age of 84, penniless, having used all her money to fight the holiday's commercialization in a sanatorium. I don't know how you could fight from a sanatorium. Either way, I don't know how you would fight from that, because aren't you under strict government or doctor's orders? I don't even know. Not been there, but I can only assume not easy to start getting stuff done from behind those doors. All right, moving on. I bet one of you people out there already know the answer to this. Most of you probably already do. But what is the actual official Mother's Day flower? If you said the white carnation, you would be correct. White carnations became the official flower of the holiday shortly after Jarvis's own mother died on May 10th, 1908. 3 years after the loss, Jarvis sent 500 white carnations to Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church in her mother's honor for the first Mother's Day celebration. And that was according to Time magazine. Jarvis compared that flower-shaped life cycle to the love of a mother. The carnation does not drop its petals, but it hugs them to the heart as it dies. So to that, mothers hug their children to their hearts. Their mother's love is never dying, said in 1927 interview cited at Nat Geo. So if you're buying flowers for mom this year, consider that white carnation, but also pause to consider that the holiday's uncommercial origins, after all, is not allowing flowers or cards or gifts or jewelry, but it's about the love. To me, that kind of seems tough. Do we buy mom flowers? Do we, I get it. It's a very purposeful carnation where the petals don't drop. It stays to your heart. They die to your chest. Well, I get it. I mean, it's a very logical and cool background. But how do you not spend money? $200 in carnations? I don't know. In this little divot where she said in the interview, she sent 500 carnations. Well, I don't know what they were back in 1908. Maybe a penny a piece. What the inflation rate was. But if you spend 500 carnations to somebody now, you better bring your checkbook because it's more than $200. But I didn't know it was all based upon anti-commercialism. Sounds kind of liberal to me. So reach out to mom and maybe give her 500 email carnations. They probably don't smell the same, but she'll get the idea. I'll try that to my mom. She'll think it's spam and delete the computer program. I don't know. But isn't that crazy how this kind of turned out? The things you see, all that type of stuff. I don't know. So what have you got planned for your Mother's Day this year? Again, I'm kind of stuck sick here in my own little area of life, trying to stay out of get everybody sick. Why do we celebrate this? Well, I know why, because everybody's got a mother. And they haven't quite did the clone yet, or they're not at least admitting that they made a clone. No test tube babies. Let's see what else we got. Evolution of Mother's Day. I'm following my show notes. Discussion of mothers has been evolved over the years. Share commercialization aspects of it, which we did. Celebrating Mother's Day. Conclusion. Kind of a short show. I mean, it's only about 15 minutes by the time I wrap up pre-roll, mid-rolls. So recap. The origins of significance. Evolution. 1. We don't want to turn this into commercialism, but yet we have. 2. It's about sending your mother the love. 3. Making sure Ma hears you loud and clear, regardless of what, where, how she's in. 4. The reason we do this is because of their everlying love that cannot die, or to the death. Hold it to your chest, which is kind of different. And then the credits. I mean, how do you not? I never really took the time to even figure out why we had it until the podcast here. So HuttCast digs into a little bit. We get some information going. We thank these people back in the 1900s. And this was an American thing. So you guys across the pond and across the sand and the dirt and the wherever you are in the world. I don't know if you're doing the same thing for Mother's Day. I would assume you would. It kind of caught on. It's mother's mother. Everybody got a mother, no matter who you are. So I hope you guys take time and sit back and talk to your mom and say hi and do all that. HuttCast is going to get off the phone here and start doing some work myself and giving mom a holler. Thanks for listening, for tuning in. I appreciate you, every one of you. And again, thank you, sponsors, for helping out and the contributors to the podcast. I mean, it's a great function. I can't thank you enough. Again, as a short Sunday, Mother's Day, 5/14/2023 episode. I really appreciate you tuning in and doing your things. I do hope to have some new shocking stuff. I've been following the Montana. There's a gal in Montana that they said that if you give blood and you've had the shot, now this if you got the jab in Montana and you give blood and that blood goes into somebody who doesn't want it, you're going to be held liable. Or if something happened to that blood, and if you didn't report it right that you've taken the shot, they won't even take your blood if you've had the shot. That sounds kind of odd. You won't take my blood if you got the shot. There's some more developing on this story, and it's quite a story. I posted it on the Hate Book site, so if you want to log in and take a peek at that, you will find this quite interesting. I know I did. It was quite an eye-opener. I'm going, what? Just by the sheer concept of it, figure it out. Think about it. if they won't take your blood because you got the shot, but they're demanding you get the shot, how's that even putting it together? How does that make sense? I don't even know. So jump on the hate book there and take a look at that link. Tell me what you think. Throw it back to me in messages or emails or however you normally get a hold of me. I do see as many as I can. Again, the guys, some of the writing isn't yet converted, but I get the hint. Check it out, the Montana gal. That's going to be quite a thing coming up. Okay, HuttCast. One segment today, 13 minutes and 15 seconds into this segment, we're going to pull the pin. We're going to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And all the wives' mothers and mothers' mothers and all that. The Samuel L. Jackson mothers. Kind of had to throw that in there. The thing out of one of his movies. Yeah. Okay. Hut's out. Have a good one. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for HuttCast. HuttCast is, again, a pragmatic approach to seeing things how some people see them. If you like our show, give us a thumbs up on the Facebook site. Again, for HuttCast, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.